welcome back to my channel. So today I am coming to do what I think is a fun video in my baby series. If you've watched my previous videos, like my most recent videos, you may know, but if you do not, know that I am currently pregnant. I am 5 months now. Wow, I can't believe it. Time is just moving on. Yes, I am 5 months pregnant now, you guys. So I am coming to do a video today that's called Baby Names I Love. I should say we, because I did not create this lovely being that is growing inside of me by myself, my husband and I. So I'm going to say baby names we love but will not be using for our baby girl. Yes, we are having a girl. I say I because I'm probably a little bit more involved in this realistically than my husband is. I don't know if it's like a female thing. I don't know, but I feel like I am way more involved in this baby naming situation than he is. Funny story, what I used to do, if you know my story, you know my story. If you don't, click on some videos, get caught up. But I had fibroids and was told that it was going to be difficult for me to conceive. So what I used to do for fun is I used to do just name trivia. Like if I ever heard a name that, you know, someone said, or a name that someone mentioned that I may have liked, I would run it by my husband and be like, oh babe, what do you think about this name, and what do you think about that name? He would literally tell you. I drove him crazy with that, but that was my way of being hopeful and still optimistic in the whole process. And it was just something fun to do with him and just wonder, you know, what we were going to end up naming our child. I don't know, I was just always have been obsessed with names for some reason. So I used to play that game with him. So we actually know and have decided on the name of our child, and her name was decided probably months ago. Honestly, we did play around. Her first name was decided months ago, and we also have already picked out the name for whatever our second child would be, preferably, you know, if we're blessed to have another one, because we liked both names. So the second child name is actually already picked out as well. Our close friends and families, of course, know what our child name is, but I want to share it with you guys here on YouTube. So first what I'm going to do is go through the names that I really love but will not be using, and then at the end of all of that, I will reveal what our baby girl's name is. So, let's see. First name that I really love, and the funny story about this name is that it was actually, I think, one of the first names I played with my husband with naming our daughter if we had a girl. For some reason I've always been obsessed with girl names more so than boys. I don't know if that was like a sign or something where, I don't know, I was hopeful of having a girl. I don't really know, but I always obsessed over girl names and not boy names. So the first name that I was absolutely obsessed over is Taylor. So my husband's first name is Terry, and I have stepkids, and a few of their names starts with T's, and I just thought it would have been cute to give her a T name. And I like Taylor because my middle name is Shantae, and my family members nickname me Tay Tay. So I was like, oh, that would be cute to call her Taylor, and then if anyone want to nickname her, they can call her Tay Tay. I don't know, I like the name Taylor. I have a like for asexual names that could be used for boys or girls. So Taylor was the first name that I came up with where I was like, oh, I like this name. My husband liked it too. We decided not to go with it though because I didn't really want to give her a name, a T name or a D name. So you'll see when you hear what her name is. I didn't want to give her a T name or a D name. Kind of wanted her to have her own identity. So we did not pick a T or a D name. My husband's name is Terry and my name is Danielle. But yeah, I love Taylor. Thought it was a very nice and classic name. I love the fact that it was an asexual name, but we're not going with that name. The other name that I really liked but we will not be using is Dakota. I watch a YouTube family here on YouTube, and one of their kids' name is Dakota, and I like the T name, Taylor for T. I like the Dakota name, Dakota for D for Danielle, but we will not be using the name Dakota. Another name that I liked, and I think this was like later down the line when I was doing the name game, is Ryan. Again, this goes to the asexual name that I spoke before, names that could be female or male related. I don't know, I really like the name Ryan for a girl. I think it's really cute. And it just I don't know, it's just very like just classic, and I was like, oh, Ryan, you know, you can call her Rye. I don't know, I really like the name Ryan for a girl. The next name that I really loved for a girl but would not be using is Everly. Everly was actually going to be our daughter's middle name, but I decided not to use Everly because I wanted her name to have some kind of meaning. Like, I wanted it to be tied to something so that she could have a memory of something. Like, that was very important to me. So when we were trying to figure out names and decide what names, I wanted to say, you know, I wanted her name to have meaning. I didn't just want to name her a name just for fluff. But I love the ring of Everly. Like, I think it's just really nice. I think it's very feminine. I think it's very dainty. I don't know, I just love the name Everly. I actually got the name Everly from the Mac Husbands, which is another YouTube channel. You see, I watch a lot of YouTube. I think their name is McHusbands, and they have the two twin girls that they had through artificial insemination, where they got a donor egg and they're sperm to have the girls, and one of their daughters' name is Everly. And that's when I first I first was introduced to the name Everly, and I really loved it ever since then. And I tell you no lie, my daughter's middle name was Everly for a while, but then we threw it out because there was another name that came along that we thought was better. So we will not be using the name Everly. The last name I am going to say is a name that we are not currently using for our daughter, but I am not to say that we will not use this name in the future, because this name really has some symbolic meaning to me, and that name is Jules. I really love the name Jules. I got that name from a book I was reading once, and I want to say, I think it was like the name of one of those movies. I can't remember. If I remember the name of the movie, I'll put it here on the screen. But I really love the name Jules. And when I was researching the meaning of the name Jules, I actually learned that it was the French name it was the French version of the name Julius. And my dad's name, who is now deceased, was Julius. So I was like, oh, I really love that name. And Jules is another asexual name, so it could be a girl name or it can be a boy name. So I really love the name Jules. We will not be using the name Jules for this child, but I am not to say that we will not use the name Jules for our future child if we are blessed to have another one. So that is it for all of the names that I absolutely love, but we will not be naming our child this time around. I keep saying that because I really love the name Jules. I love the meaning behind it. I love that it's tied to my father. So I'm not to say that we won't use that in the future. So we'll see what happens with that name. But for those of you who have not watched, I did do a husband tag back, crap, it might be almost a year ago now. Yeah, I might have did a husband tag about a year ago. So that was when my husband and I, you know, the husband tag, asked him, I think it was like about 20 questions we went through, him and I, and we just kind of like, you know, y'all got to see how well he knew me or didn't know me or whatever. But it was fun. But in that husband tag, we told the story of how we met. It is a story that means a lot to me because I always look back on that time and just think about where I was in my life. Did I think, you know, I was going to meet my husband when I met him, where I met him? No, I did not. So I'll give you a quick version of the story. My husband and I met at the CIAA tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2012. I was going to the parking deck to get the car for my friends and I. It was started raining. We were at a club. They were letting people out. was going to get the car and bring it around to the front so we could go home. I leave the club that evening, and I ran into him in the parking deck. He will say that I almost hit him, and his best friend, who is very, very loyal to him, well, I will also say I almost hit him, but I did not. But that's how we met. We met in the parking deck. I was stuck in line because everybody was trying to leave the parking deck at the same time. And he came around to my passenger side window when I was waiting to drive, because there was a bit of a line, and knocked on the window and said, "Wow, you were beautiful." Yes, that was his opening line. And we started talking, and I found out that he also lived in Atlanta when he gave me his number. And I was like, So I didn't think then that we would end up where we are now. Didn't think that at all, but we are. So it was really interesting. That night itself was like a whirlwind. We ended up, after I met him and got my friends, I ended up getting in a car accident in my best friend's car, like for real accident, airbags deployed and everything. It was crazy. I got burns on my arm. It was a whole situation, guys. But needless to say, it brought me the love of my life. So that was a really interesting evening. So yes, so for those of you who did not know, my husband and I met in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the CIAA tournament. I don't know why I keep wanting to say CIA tournament. And our daughter named, because I want her to have a part of that meeting, a part of that love story, is Charlotte, because we met in Charlotte, North Carolina. My husband is also from North Carolina. He was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is in the South. It's a Southern name. I wanted her to have Southern roots because I am from South Carolina. My husband is from North Carolina. So it's a lot of reasons why we went with the name Charlotte. It's very classic. I feel like it will be around for ages. I just feel like something that's very elegant. We love the name Charlotte. I've convinced my husband to love the name Charlotte, but he honestly, although he didn't like object to a lot of names I said, if he did not like the name, he flat out told me no. He didn't just go with the flow with every name I threw out there, because I was throwing out a lot of names. I mean, I only said a few here, but we went through a lot of names. So we didn't just come up one day and just, had this aha moment for Charlotte. But when I realized, that was where we met, I love the name, we went with Charlotte. And I'm so glad we did, because I absolutely love it. We call her by her name all the time. My mom does, my husband does, his mom does, my friends, everyone's calling her by her name, and I really love that, and I love it when I hear it. Funny enough, I went to Pottery Barn this weekend to look at cribs, and there was a little girl in there. She had kind of strayed away from her mom, and she was over there, I don't know, playing with something on the little table, and I heard the mom say, "Come here, Charlotte, come here, Charlotte." And so I smiled at the little girl, and she ran away from me and ran to her mama. I was like, oh, that's so cute. So yeah, I was really excited. But I told the mom, I was like, I am currently pregnant, and we're naming our daughter Charlotte. So it was just a funny moment. So yes, her first name is Charlotte, and her middle name, so I can't even remember where I first heard this name at. I can't even remember, but I just love the ring it had to it. Her middle name is Gianna, and I was like, I really love that name. I love the nicknames that you can give that, I think people could call her Gigi or whatever. And I love the name Gianna, and I love that it was kind of like flowy, a little sassy, like Charlotte is elegant, but then Gianna's like a little, got a little sass to it. So I really love the name Gianna. And then when I looked it up and saw that the meaning of Gianna is God is gracious, I was sold. I was like, that is going to be her middle name. So when I said before that her middle name was Everly, so we were going to name her Charlotte Everly, but we ended up going with Charlotte Gianna, and I am very happy we changed her middle name to Gianna, because if you guys do not know, and as I said before, go to my other videos, I won't go into a long story here, but it is by the grace of God that this child is in existence. And when she comes into this world, I want her to know that. I want her to know that she has purpose. I want her to know that she was created out of love. That's why we gave her the name Charlotte. That is where we met. That's where our love story began. And I want her to know that God is gracious. and you know, I want him to extend that grace upon her entire life. And I just really think that Charlotte and Gianna together is such a strong foundation for her, and I don't want her to ever, you know, question her existence. And so that's why we chose those names together, and I'm really happy about it. I've given people the options of nicknames because people will give your kids all kind of crazy nicknames. And I just don't want that to happen, because you know, you get a nickname in the family and it sticks to you for the rest of your life. So I was like, with Charlotte, we figured people could call her Charlie, or people can call her Lottie, and then with Gianna, people can call her Gigi, which I think is cute as well. So yeah, so our baby's girl name, who will be here in January, will be Charlotte Gianna. And I want to share that information with you guys, and I hope you guys will love it as much as we do. And if you don't, that's okay, because that's going to be her name. So yeah, well, all right, I think that is it. I am getting back on track with my YouTube videos. I think originally I said I was going to do like every 4 weeks bump date. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do every trimester. So I've done a first trimester, I'll do a second trimester, and then finally I'll do a third trimester. So yeah, but I have some other non-pregnancy related content that I'm going to do as well. So I'm getting back into the groove of things. But thanks for watching. Bye.